$11. That is 37 cents a day. That is less than a vending machine snack, less than a parking meter, less than the tip you leave when you grab coffee on the way to work. Jerome Mitchell put $11 a week into an index fund when he was 26 years old. He never missed a week. Not when the car broke down, not when the rent went up, not when he got laid off for 7 months in 2009 and had to stretch every dollar he owned. $11 every week. Without fail, Jerome retired at 58 years old with $1.3 million. He was a middle school janitor for 32 years. He never earned more than $41,000 in a single year of his life. And I need you to stay with me right now, because what Jerome figured out is not complicated. It is not a secret. It does not require a finance degree or a high income or a lucky break. It requires one decision. Made once, kept forever. Before we go any further, I want you to hear something. Do not save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. That is Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest people in human history. And his entire philosophy fits in 13 words. Jerome never read a finance book. He never watched a single investing video. He never had a financial advisor or a brokerage account with a fancy name. But somehow, without knowing it, Jerome had been living Warren Buffett's 13 words since the day he was 26 years old. And it changed everything. Jerome grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. His mother worked 2 jobs. His father worked nights at a plant that closed when Jerome was 15. Money was tight the way only people who have lived it truly understand. Not dramatic tight. Not crisis every day. Just the quiet, constant weight of knowing the math does not have much room. Jerome watched his parents work themselves empty and arrive at their 60s with almost nothing saved. His father retired at 67 with a small Social Security check and a back that had given out years before his body did. His mother worked until she was 71. Jerome made himself a promise at 19 years old, standing at his father's kitchen table. He did not know how. He did not have the words for it. He just knew he was not going to end up there. He started working as a janitor at a Cleveland middle school when he was 24. Steady work, union benefits, a paycheck he could count on. Starting salary, $28,000 a year. He had a small apartment, an old Chevy with 200,000 miles on it. No cable, no gym membership. A flip phone until 2013. He was not suffering. He was just not spending on things that did not matter to him. At 26, Jerome walked into a bank branch on his lunch break and asked a teller one question. He said, "What is the smallest amount I can invest automatically every week?" The teller told him about a simple index fund with automatic contributions. The minimum was $5 a week. Jerome started at 11. Here is what $11 a week becomes when you never stop. According to Fidelity Investments, a consistent weekly contribution of $11 invested in a broad market index fund from age 26, assuming a 7% average annual return, grows to over $400,000 by age 65. $400,000 from $11 a week. But Jerome did something that Fidelity's basic calculator does not account for. He never stopped. And he slowly increased. At 30, when he got his first union raise, he went from $11 to $19. At 35, he went to $27. At 40, he went to $38. At 45, he went to $52. He never increased his lifestyle when his salary increased. He increased his contribution. Every single raise. Every single time. According to Vanguard's How America Saves report, investors who practice automatic escalation, increasing contributions consistently over time, retire with 2 to 3 times more money than investors who contribute the same fixed amount for their entire career. Jerome's $11 became $52 without him ever feeling the pinch, because each increase happened at the exact moment a raise arrived. His lifestyle never knew the difference. Now here is the part most people miss. Jerome was not just lucky with his investments. He was ruthless about one thing that most Americans are not: fees. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, a 1% difference in investment fees can reduce your retirement savings by 28% over a 35-year career. 28%. Jerome's index fund charged 0.04% per year in expenses. The average actively managed mutual fund charges 1.2%. Over 32 years, that fee difference alone saved Jerome more than $220,000. He did not know the math when he chose the fund. He just knew the number was small, and small felt right for someone earning what he earned. But small was the right answer. And it turned out to be a $200,000 answer. In 2009, Jerome got laid off. The school district had budget cuts. He was one of 47 custodial workers who lost their jobs in the spring. He was 37 years old. He had a mortgage on a modest house he had bought 3 years earlier. He had a daughter in 6th grade. He had 7 months without income before the school district brought him back. Most people would have stopped the automatic contribution. Jerome did not stop. He cut everything else first. He canceled the one streaming service he had. He stopped buying coffee outside the house. He meal prepped every Sunday to keep the grocery bill low. He drove that old Chevy on fumes and prayed it held together. The $11, well, by then it was $22 a week, never stopped. 7 months. 0 income. Contribution never missed. I asked Jerome why he never stopped it, even then. He said, because the day I stop, the decision is over. And the decision is the whole thing. Let me show you what that decision protected. According to research published in the Journal of Behavioral Finance, investors who stop contributions during market downturns or personal financial hardship and then restart them lose an average of 14% of their long-term returns, not from the market, but from the gap in contributions during the exact months when dollar-cost averaging works hardest in their favor. The 2009 market was down nearly 50%. Every dollar Jerome put in during those 7 months bought twice as much of the market as the same dollar would have bought 18 months earlier. His contributions during the worst months of his financial life were the most powerful investments he ever made. He did not know that at the time. He just knew the decision was the whole thing. Jerome turned 58 last November. His daughter is 31 now. She is a nurse in Columbus. Her student loans are paid off because Jerome helped with her last year of nursing school. He could afford to, because of the decision. His wife Maria, who started contributing to her own account at 31 after watching what Jerome had built over 5 years, retired at 60. Together, they have $1.3 million. Jerome still has his same modest house. He refinanced once, paid it off at 54. It is worth more now, but that is not why he kept it small. He kept it small because a small house meant a small payment. A small payment meant more room for the $11, and the $11 became everything. Jerome told me something that I have been thinking about since. He said, rich people think about what money can buy. Wealthy people think about what money can do while they sleep. He never heard the Chris Rock quote. He arrived at the same place on his own. This is the moment in the video that matters most to me. If you have been sitting here doing math on your own life, your own paycheck, your own savings account, your own what if, I want you to hear this directly. Jerome was not special. He will tell you that himself. He was not brilliant or disciplined in ways that other people are not. He made one decision at 26 years old in a bank branch on his lunch break. And he kept it. Not because it was easy every month, not because the math was always clear, not because the world cooperated, because he decided that the decision was the whole thing. According to the Employee Benefit Research Institute, the single most powerful predictor of retirement security for American workers across all income levels is not investment performance, not employer benefits, and not income. It is contribution consistency. People who contribute consistently, regardless of amount, regardless of income level, retire with dramatically more security than inconsistent high-income contributors. Jerome was consistent. For 32 years. That is the whole story. If this video is giving you something real right now, something you can actually feel, please subscribe. Every week on this channel, you get one honest story about how money actually works in America. No products, no hype, no shortcuts, just the truth from people who figured it out and the data that proves it. Subscribe right now so you do not miss a single one. Here are 3 things you can do in the next 24 hours. Not 4, not a week, 24 hours. Action 1. Find the smallest automatic investment you can make today. Not the right amount, not the perfect amount. The smallest amount that will not hurt. Open your 401k portal, your brokerage app, or your bank's automatic savings feature. Set up a recurring transfer. Even $5 a week. Jerome started at 11. You can start where you need to start. The amount is not the point. The automation is the point. The decision is the point. Action 2. Check the expense ratio on every investment you currently own. Log into your 401k or brokerage account right now. Find the expense ratio column. If anything shows a fee above 0.5%, find a lower cost index fund alternative in the same account. 1 hour of research will do what Jerome's instinct did: keep the fees small. Small fees compounded over decades become hundreds of thousands of dollars. Action 3. The next time you get a raise, any raise, increase your contribution before the money ever touches your checking account. Not half, not some, all of it. Increase your automatic contribution by the full raise amount and keep your monthly spending exactly where it is. This is the exact move Jerome made every single time. It is the move that turned $22 into $52 into $1.3 million. Jerome called me after I told him I was sharing his story. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Tell them it is not about the $11. It is about deciding that your future self deserves the same loyalty you give everybody else." He worked 32 years cleaning classrooms in a building where other people's children learned things he never got to learn. He showed up every single day. He took care of the building the way you take care of something that matters. And every week, without fail, he took care of the decision. His father never had the chance to learn what Jerome learned. Jerome made sure his daughter would never have to learn it the hard way. That is not an investment strategy. That is love. Share this story with one person today. Not tomorrow, not when you remember. Today. A young person just starting out who thinks $11 is not enough to matter. A friend who keeps saying they will start investing when they have more. A parent who worked their whole life and deserves to know it is not too late. One share can hand someone the decision they have been waiting for. Subscribe if you are not already. Every week, one real story. One real lesson. One number that changes how you see everything. Jerome's number was 11. What is yours?